Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are doing part 2 of this castle build, this castle speed build. Today we're going to be going through, mostly doing the downstairs, and then part 3 will actually be featuring the upstairs. And then it will also feature the tours, so make sure you stay tuned for that. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. It actually ended up turning out like way better than I thought it was going to. I was so excited about it. Um, But here we are. We're building the first one of the first bedrooms here. Um, this is actually going to be for what I would classify as like a butler's quarters. So if you have vintage glamour stuff, you could totally end up doing a butler's quarters there. And if you watched last time, I told you we had totally forgotten flooring. So this is us putting in the flooring. I ended up going for a nice light hardwood. This way it kind of flowed with the brick that was on there. And I ended up putting some beautiful stone there in the foyer, and then put the wood throughout pretty much the rest of the house. The only places that don't have wood are the bedrooms and the bathrooms. Everything else has the hardwood. Oh yeah, and this living room particularly. The other ones don't feature it. They have rugs. So anyway, but this house or this room right here, like I said, I would kind of feature it kind of more as a butler's quarters because it's all a little bit dark. It's all like kind of more like guesty, but not really. Kind of like somebody lives there, but it kind of looks more nice all the time. So, and I believe it's actually the smallest of all the bedrooms. No, that's the smallest of all the rooms that have a double bed is probably the statement I would make. And here we are. I put in those curtains there. If you watched my last build, I told you that those are the kind of curtains that we're just kind of pretending that you can pull them all the way across, but Sims can't do that. So anyway, so we end up having to kind of work with what we got here. I was also kind of playing with some of the items maybe I don't normally use in my builds. And like I said, I wanted this to be more like a butler's quarters. So it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit, I guess, drab. This is more of a castle-esque room of what I would imagine it would actually look like, where it's got the candlesticks instead of real lights. And a lot of the stuff here was actually from Get Together. I guess they had like a big, like, I don't know, I'd say like castle-esque thing going on and Get Together. So but I did end up putting in some plants here. This way it kind of looked a little bit more lively. There's that little plaque there where maybe it told about the original owners. Maybe it's just a part of a tour. I originally did have this plan to be like a guest bedroom, but I was like, at the last minute, I was like, you know what? This would actually be really great as like a butler's room. So a desk does end up going in here. So this way, maybe they have to work or do some work there at the table or at the desk. Because I do end up putting a desk in. There's also lots of artwork on the walls. And then I thought it'd be really great as a butler's room because right next door is what I would use as like a young girl's room. That's how I ended up decorating it. That's what I was envisioning when I was decorating it. And you'll see why here in a few minutes. And so, like with that, like I put the trunk in there just this way it kind of maybe looked a little bit more like he just moved in, or maybe that's the last of his belongings. And here we are going with the girls' room here. Every single bedroom here has their own private bathroom. And then there is also multiple half baths. So this way, like if guests were to be over, they don't have to go downstairs to go use a half bath. There's one upstairs, there's one downstairs, there's one on both sides of the house. Oh my god, it's nuts. And then there's even a full bath upstairs as well, too. But you'll see that in the next part. I wanted to size it down, but to be honest, I really didn't feel like dealing with trying to get the items to fit on there, so I said screw it. And I put this kind of corner shelf in here, so maybe she's got like some toys that she wants put up there, maybe some action figures or something, or dolls or whatever stuff that she doesn't want on the floor all the time. Because this is also a house that I would presume would also maybe have like either the brother of the people that own the house, or maybe it's their oldest son living with them. and then also a younger son, and then there's also a toddler room. So there is a room upstairs for the toddlers. It's across from the master, so this way they're close by in case the kid needs anything. And like I said, since I envisioned this to be a girl's room, I kind of did like a little bit more of the girly paintings and stuff. And this is going to be the bathroom for the little girl downstairs. Of course, it's all in pink and purples. But if you notice, I did use those lights throughout the entire butler room and throughout the her bedroom. And I put those actually throughout the house. And it's not to say like that they would have had that back then, or maybe it's part of the renovation. I mean, you could call it that if that would make you feel better. But Sims houses generally tend to be quite dark, so I like to have those extra lights, and you can scale them down. Um, on If you are on PC, it's just the left bracket for like the left square bracket. It's a lot of people say you have to use shift too, but I usually use them without shift or control or alt or anything. If you find that it doesn't work, I would suggest using a shift or control plus the bracket, and then it usually scales them down. There's also supposed to be a way to do it on consoles, but from what I understand, you can't scale down just yet. You can only scale up, but they could have changed that since then. But anyway, so this is going to be one of the half baths that are downstairs. And I wanted it to be very well decorated since, it is one of the first bathrooms in the entire house. So, and here we are. We're going to work on the kitchen now, which ends up being just gigantic. I don't know why I made it this big, but I kind of like it at the same time. So I was thinking about using that wood burning stove, but I was like, you know what? It's probably not that safe. We did make sure to put in the hood range, or the range hood for it. Hood range, that's so weird. I ended up using these really big cabinets though, because like there wasn't much, since there were so many windows, there wasn't much room up there for actual cabinets. So what I ended up doing was I just went into the custom cabinets and got the really tall ones and then just set them on top of the regular cabinets. So it just kind of looks like the cabinets go all the way up to the ceiling. And there I was just trying to make the counter flow a little bit better, because now there's a big old island countertop there. And then of course we will have a giant dining room here for the people that live here, along with lots of room there for guests and all sorts of stuff. So, and of course I wanted a nice light in order to go above it. And so I ended up using these candlestick lights throughout the kitchen. And like I said, I ended up using those lights, those saucer ones. I just scale them down and I just use them everywhere, because also when you're playing in game, you don't generally notice them being there just because they are so scaled down, and so whenever you approach them, they fade away immediately, so you most of the time won't notice them. The only time I've ever noticed them is when I'm looking for them. That's it. So you should be fairly good to go. I wanted to put a nice colorful rug here underneath, because it kind of felt like it was all just grays and blacks and whites. So I was like, I want color here. So I ended up doing this nice big purple rug underneath. And no, purple's not my favorite color. It's up there. It's a pretty good color, but but anyway. So I wanted to make sure there was plenty of decorations, make it look like there was lots of dishes and stuff like that available in case they have lots of guests come over. But I ended up using those as a little divider. This way I could kind of create like a little like reading area there. And here we are. We're finally putting some stuff in the foyer. I end up moving a lot of the stuff around, which you'll see. But this stuff ends up staying exactly where it is. But I put some stuff on the other wall because it looked so bare while I was going through it. I just couldn't find many decor items that I liked, so that I thought would go in here. I was like, maybe some statues and stuff like that. So I ended up moving a lot of the stuff around quite a bit. Ah, yes, that's what I did. I went with the old man with the top hat. Yes! Ooh, excuse me. Alright, so we're going to put in some decorations in here on the counters. Make it look like people actually live here. I ended up putting in way more decorations. I think I wanted to use like almost every single decoration there was. I also wanted them to still have available counters because if there's not, then they'll go use like the counters in like the bathrooms and stuff. And I thought that'd be really weird. So I tried to make sure I stayed away from that. I do also have that teapot there, and then I also put the cute little. I really like that decoration. It looks like they're supposed to be like tea bags or like coffee pods or something. Personally, they look like these tea bags that we sell where I work. I believe it's by like the Twinnings brand. They have like a billion colors for all their tea stuff, like all their different teapots and stuff like that. So anyway, so we put in some knives, put in some utensils, put in lots of pots and pans, and I think I ended up putting in a few more decorations. Like I said, I put a lot in here. I wanted to use almost every single item that there was, because I was like, I want to know what all we have. And of course, like I said, I don't even have all the stuff packs, and I'm like, I want to see everything. So, which definitely would not have worked. So here we are. We're kind of creating the little seating area over here. I just wanted it to feel a little bit more like, I don't know, just a place where you could go just to relax, get away from everything, just enjoy a good book, and just sit there. And of course, I did end up doing the purple and the purple coffee table. I thought it would just kind of tie in nicely with the rug that was in there. I believe I also ended up putting a rug in here underneath. I'm not quite sure. I ended up putting quite a few rugs in, so. And of course, I thought an incense burner, since it's supposed to be a very nice, relaxing area, that'd be kind of nice. Of course, there's the two bookcases. There's the magazine rack. Not that you can actually get anything out of the magazine rack, but you know. And I just kind of felt like this wall was a little bare, so I ended up putting in a couple of items here just to kind of make it feel a little bit more alive, I guess you could say. And this is right where it ends up splitting, so I ended up taking some screenshots and then I kind of got off my computer because I was so tired. I was exhausted. Um, anyway, so that we're going to finally finish out the first floor. I ended up doing this actually in 4 parts, but I'm actually going to have it put up in 3. So, like I said, this took me 6 hours to do. This was a long time. I thoroughly enjoyed it, though. I did. I really enjoyed doing everything, kind of creating all the different personalities that would have been in all the rooms, and I don't know, maybe down the line I could do a create a sim video where we go over like the family I would envision living here, but I don't know. We'll find out. If you guys want to see that, leave a comment down below and maybe we can see about tackling that too. Um, but we're gonna put in a bed here. I wanted this to be more like a teenager's room, so this way it wasn't quite like so kiddish, so I ended up using the big double bed, but I wanted it up against a wall, but it wouldn't really make any sense anywhere, so I kind of ended up pushing it into this corner, and I ended up putting up these flip-flops. I thought that maybe they were just kind of cute, so I thought maybe they would whoever was here probably would have been like, yeah, I want flip-flop lights on my wall, why not? It looks super cool to me, so I was like, yeah. And we end up creating a little desk area for the sim that is in this room. This way there's plenty of room to work, to study, and all that kind of stuff. I envisioned that the person that was in this room would have been highly into sports, really into music, and probably would have had that struggle of, well, which do I want to go after in my life? Do I want to go after sports or do I want to go after music? So big old nice stereo, couple of CDs up there on the stereo rack, along with maybe like their books. And I saw those guitars. I wanted to put them in the bathroom, but I was like, no, that's okay. Decided that, you know what, I would just put them in the bedroom there. Did a little privacy screen there, so this way you don't immediately see the bed when you walk through. And I also did this in the king's quarters in the upstairs, which you'll see in the next video. Ended up putting a nice cute little incense there, although not that I'm sure I trust incense. If you've watched my Get to Work series, you would have seen that the first time we tried to use incense in our house, we nearly burned the place down. Like, it was the very first time. Like, you watch me in game literally put it down and go, oh, you know what? Why don't we use this? And then I try to use it and it tries to burn the house down. So, yeah, no thanks. So, I did end up using it again in the series. It hasn't burned the house down again since, but it could. And that's what matters. And with the corners there being like such an awkward angle, I just kind of thought I'd just put that little cabinet in there, make it look like maybe the cabinet goes all the way to the back. Just as a place to hold towels and stuff like that. I need to put in quite a bit more decorations in here than I envisioned I ever would have, but this one is going to be more like a guest room. So if the Sims have a guest staying there, this would be like the perfect room. It's a bit more of all neutrals. It even has like a little coffee station, so they can get up, just have some coffee, and then go on about their day. Maybe I probably should have switched the two rooms. I probably should have had the boys' room and the guest room completely switched, but it is what it is now. I just thought of that, so this is supposed to be more like a zen room anyway, so. And I had such a hard time picking a rug in here. I really did. I can't believe how hard I struggled to pick a rug. Because everything I wanted either went too big or too small. And then, like, because the corners kept peeking out of this rug. So I was like, oh, I can't use it. So I ended up doing this big old circle rug with some nice neutral browns and beiges. Maybe have some decorations there on the wall. And let's see, what else? Oh, I ended up doing that little book cart there, so in case, there's like some books they want to go grab, they can just take the cart and, fill it up and bring it back to the guest bedroom. This way it's kind of easier to maneuver. I think I ended up doing, I wanted to do a table or a coffee table in here, but it didn't work because it didn't fit. So I ended up having to put in counters, I believe, because that's what I wanted. I wanted that stone slab to be there to put a coffee pot on, and it didn't work. And then I thought about doing this big long table, but making it look like it projects from the wall. Yeah, that didn't work either. I was mad. Tried using coffee tables, and then I was like, oh man, I actually had to break down and actually use like a real. And after I worked so hard to get all that stuff up there too, to find out it didn't fit, I was so mad. You could see me just. So I ended up doing these counters to make it kind of look like maybe they were put in place afterward, and they kind of just set that stuff there. Got a dresser there in case they need to change their clothes or hold their clothes there while they're staying. And then we're finally moving on to this kind of like study nook area, which has a couple of bookcases, lots of room for all that kind of stuff. And of course, I end up putting in those little tiny lights. This way it brightens up the room while we actually look and try and decorate it. And I really like the way that light ended up turning out in the guest room. So I ended up using that tactic here as well, where I ended up putting the light actually behind the chair. And I knew I was forgetting something, but I didn't actually play test any of this. Most of it should work, though I wouldn't see why not. There's only a couple items here and there that I was like, I don't know if that's actually going to work properly, but most of it should work just fine. Ugh. Just had breakfast and oh, it was delicious. We had bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches this morning. So this is going to be a large size half bath downstairs. So I ended up putting in all these lights everywhere on the downstairs. So this way it kind of looked like lights were already pre-strung throughout the house. And then we finally end up going into designing the downstairs two living areas. One's more high-tech, one's more like cozy family area. I ended up using these aquariums kind of like as a divider for the two. This way it kind of created like a definitive space on one side and a definitive space on the other side. And I wanted those mismatched chairs to the table. I thought they just looked so cute. I did want to do a dance floor, but then I said screw it and I went with the karaoke machine. Because why not? It's a karaoke machine. I ended up putting the chess table here on this side of the aquarium, just kind of like as a relaxing way of doing all that. I ended up making a little seating area over here, putting in some of the last minute decorations on this side before we move on to the upstairs. So I put some decorations here on this wall, and then after we get the rug in and the seat in, I don't think there's anything else I ended up putting in downstairs. I could be wrong though. Oh, I ended up taking some pictures, and then I think I ended up putting. That's when I ended up putting some more of the little decorations and stuff in. So anyway, go ahead, leave your feedback, comments, and your suggestions down below. All my social media is in that description box. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and if you like speed builds, make sure you're subscribed so this way you can catch it when I do more of them. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.